Hello, car friends, and welcome to Word on the Street. It's your boy Joey D. I'm here with the team from NEPA Street Scene at the 25/8 Studios. Today's episode is going to include an introduction with the team and their involvement. Who wants to start first? Quick name or AOL, like age, sex, location.
ASL. All right, so I'm Doc. That's what everyone calls me, Kevin. I'm the social media associate, I guess, and most of the motorsports team stuff, track schedules, everything like that. That's the stuff that I'm going to be posting. I'll be at a lot of track events this year. So that's about it.
Well, don't forget about also the help on the meets you've done, parking cars.
Right,
or,
yeah. And also
registration stuff. I mean, you've been a
the large body in charge.
Wow.
A lot of organizational.
What about, which one do you guys want to go?
Go ahead.
So I'm Sam Lentz. I am the creative director, design. I do a lot of the marketing stuff. And so any of the flyers, any of the online flyers, the paper flyers, I help design those. I worked in tandem with the Shops and Montage this past season and their marketing department and was able to get all that stuff together. So I do a lot of that. I do look at the socials, although I don't have my hands quite as deep into them as some of the other people here. But really, it's just marketing, merch. I want to try and get more merch in this year. Big goals, stuff like that.
All right. I guess that leaves it up on me. I'm Evo Jim.
Yeah.
The old guy.
Yeah, OG.
Yeah, I don't have a cool
OG.
nickname yet.
Elder James.
Yeah. I basically just help out behind the scenes. I try and give a little bit of the OG wisdom from what I've learned over the years and what to do, what not to do. That's pretty much it. I help out wherever I can help out, whatever you guys
It's a stern
need.
knife hand.
Yeah,
saying
I'll
park
give
here.
the hard knife hands. Like if anybody starts getting out of line, I'll come up there and make it happen. So
Yeah.
no.
And you go back to the old school days of NEPA street racing. We've talked about that before. I mean,
absolutely.
you were a huge help in that with the technical advice, support to guys, tuning and stuff like that. So, I mean, you were a huge voice a long time ago, but also currently today.
Still to this day, still do it. When it comes up, not as much anymore. As life happens, you get busy, but always out there to help out. Advice, information, whatever it is anybody needs, definitely help out. So,
And what about our meme lord, aka
I'm Jeff's
meme officer?
I'm Squiz, aka Jeff Squire, broadcasting live from the booming metropolis of Sanger, Texas. I call myself the chief meme officer, one of the co-founders of Street Scene from back in the day. Do a lot of the social media stuff. So if you see most of the posts throughout the day, week, whenever, that's me. Try to do as much as I can virtually, even though I am in Northeast PA at least once every 3 to 4 weeks. Planning possibly a long trip over the summer next year. Not sure what I'm going to bring, but just working with the team. Very proud of everyone that we have and the dedication that everyone's doing. It's fantastic watching from 1,500 miles away, seeing the heart everyone's putting in. All you guys and, everyone else that's not here that will eventually be here. So just, props to everyone, you guys, that's just been really kicking ass throughout the years. So
Eventually, as in you'll be moving back soon?
If you want your car to actually stand out, you need to check out Perez Customs. This is a one-man shop built for the people, specializing in custom wraps with printed designs, headlight and taillight tint, underglow, ambient lighting, and even star headliners. Whether you want something clean and subtle or full show car vibes, Perez Customs will deliver high-impact visuals at affordable prices, making custom style possible without breaking the bank. Check out the transformations by following Perez Customs on Facebook and follow Carfinity on Instagram for builds, features, and local car culture. Perez Customs. Life is too short to stay stock. They are located in West Scranton. Next time.
I'm going to drop.
to be determined.
But with that, same comment where Jeff brought up, there's other members not here today. Our friend Matt, Eric Pickens, my buddy Ethan, so there are other team members that couldn't make it. but are also here, huge players in the game. And
Here in
again,
spirit.
even, want to thank everybody here too. You know what I mean? Like, as I tried to bring this back in 23 and rebirth it, a lot of help, with Jeff doing the memes, Sam, again, do the creative t-shirts you did, stickers, flyers. I mean, we were stuck in the water a minute last year through 25, and you were a huge player in that game. So, me and the rest of the guys, I know we're always grateful of that.
You're welcome.
So before we go too much further, I do want to give a shout out to Perez Customs. They sponsored today's podcast show. Just want to say thank you very much. We appreciate your support to our page, the podcast, and the car community. There'll be further advertisements through the show, but thank you so much, brother, for sponsoring today's show. So let's get into the good
Thank you.
stuff, right? Cars, all right? Let's talk
The
about...
good stuff. The meat and potatoes, as it were.
So, Doc, in a nutshell, how did you get into this hobby itself?
I'm pretty much born into it. My earliest memories was
Like a transformer?
more or less, yeah. My earliest memories, when my father was, I was small enough to be held in his arms. We're at Maple Grove in New Media. I'm maybe 2-3 years old. Like, that was my earliest memories.
Wow.
Basically born into it. He was all over the place. New Media, Maple Grove, Island, 80s, 90s. He raced with, Mark, our producer's father, Martin Baum Sr.,
That's awesome.
just all over the place. I still raced with, Mark to, up until this past year. He's like, I guess he's finally retiring, hanging it up, but.
He did tell us that too. I
Yeah,
think
he
2
did
episodes ago,
he did
tell
mention
us
that. But yeah, that's basically, just growing up at the racetrack.
It's like drinking the bottle and smelling the grape race gas.
Right.
Oh,
yeah. And
I miss that
Yeah,
smell. I
and
do.
there was a couple of years, late 90s, we took a little hiatus from the race and did the car show thing, and he got bored, got the bug up his ass again. His buddies drug him to New Media on a Friday night in like 99 or 2000 or something, and that was when the itch to go like fast street car racing kind of started, and
Still continues on through your
still
generation.
continues, and and that's when I started was 2000, 2001.
And it's tough. And Jeff and I talked about that a previous episode, to stay in this hobby and race it, break it, upgrade it, race it again. And maybe it's where your father might have taken a break. I know for me, that's currently where I'm at. Like, it's an expensive hobby to constantly be in it.
It also wears you down after a while.
It
Even
does.
just like
Yeah,
mentally.
and
Oh, yeah.
Jim, I think that's what it was. It was just between work on the car during the week, and you're out chasing points. Running Island on Saturday, New Media Sunday, like week in, week out.
Yeah. You imagine throwing like a job in there full
Right,
time
yeah,
and doing that all
and
week.
and the guys that he was going with on a weekly basis, they all kind of started either going less or not at all, and it's like
yeah,
it wasn't fun anymore at that
becomes
point.
more like a job than a hobby.
Yeah.
Trust me, I
it's-
get that.
It's like a lot of things in life. It's better with friends,
exactly.
So I think that's where he kind of was like, take the step back, did the car show thing for a while, and
So recharge.
What were your thoughts?
you can
then?
only
Like,
sit in a lawn chair for so long before
Yeah.
you get bored and like,
Absolutely.
I want to build something fast again.
Absolutely.
And then while you're on that mode, what about you? What got you started into this hobby?
Oh man, that's a tough one because I started out in the 90s. I mean, every kid that starts
1890s?
out, yeah, 1890s. Yeah.
You beat me to it.
We had some candles for headlights.
Every kid starts out, you get that first car. Like the first car that I tried buying was actually like a Honda Prelude, and
Like age 22 kind of Honda Prelude?
no, even before that, it was.
Wow.
I think it was like an A series carbureted. It was just old. It was an SI model though, so it was like, oh man, this thing is hot. But it wasn't really practical, and it was a little out of my price range at the time, so I had to settle for the big old boat and everything. I had an old Impala.
Boat.
It at least kind of like cut my teeth into like the V8, whole community. And after that, it was, I kind of dove into mini trucks actually for a long time. Cause I grew up on the border of New Jersey. So most of my time, in my teens and early, or late teens actually, before I moved up here, I was down there. It was mini trucks everywhere. Mini trucks were the thing. you know. So of course it's like, all my friends have mini trucks. I got to get into mini trucks too, you know, better with friends. And I remember I was, I think it was out towards maybe like Hoboken the one weekend, and they had my one friend was like, hey, you got to come see this stuff. They're doing like street races down in like, you know, Jersey, what was it? Elizabeth, like Avenue 9. And I was like, all right, yeah, we go out there, and it's just like Hondas everywhere. And these Hondas are tearing it up. I was like, yo, I got to get one of those. So as soon as I got back home, trucks went up for sale. So I need a CRX. I need a Civic. I need something, you know, and it just kind of like kicked it off into the, you know, and I mean, at that point it was like, you know, 97, 96, 97, somewhere around there.
That's
so,
awesome. And that's like the height of it. You know, now we know that now.
Yeah.
That was the...
And I mean, it was still brand new back then. Like people were doing head swaps, like, oh, I can take this head fits on this bottom end. Oh man, I can make more power. I can do this, you know, swapping stuff around. And it was like Tinker Toys. It was like, this is even better. You know, it's like Lincoln Logs on steroids.
And to think they figured that out without like forums or social media or anything.
Yes,
they just
nothing
guys
existed.
just experimenting and
even the Fast and Furious wasn't even out yet.
No,
So this
it
was
wasn't,
still
yeah.
very underground of street racing. And like you
Absolutely.
said, swaps. That's
Yeah.
incredible.
You know, and honestly, to that point, like forums were just starting to kind of like kick off. Well, I was part of this one forum from like way back in the day. It was called Homemade Turbo. That was literally the name of the forum, homemadeturbo.com. There was like 6 of us, and half of them were on the East Coast, half were on the West Coast. And it was like, yo, I just tried this out and it worked awesome. Let's do it. All right, cool. And then everybody had the information. So like, the beginnings of like the turbo days of like turbo Hondas and everything else. Like we were taking turbos off of old Mitsubishi Eclipses that we found in the junkyard. Like people are throwing these cars away. Like, oh, they smashed it up. Well, I'm going to grab that turbo off of it, have somebody machine up a quick adapter plate for you. You drill it, you tap it, you throw this thing on, you know, this old junky manifold or whatever else. Next thing you know, you're like, yo, I can throw some boost into this motor and make some power. We had no tuning options back then, though. That was our biggest problem. Like you could throw boost in them. They had no way to control it. So it was, you know, cutting your teeth on it and coming up with new solutions. I mean, we were pulling parts off of like Vortec units from Mustangs just to like, hey, they got the FMU on there, boost that fuel pressure up. And then, you know, we were cutting tabs off of the distributors to try and clock them back a little bit further so we didn't, you know, detonate these motors. And, yeah. Finally, I mean, technology started picking up and coming along with it. And most of the stuff over from like Japan and everything started trickling over here a little bit more. And that's when you start getting into like the days of the Fast and the Furious, where you start seeing like people going down to the speed shops, buying those parts, you know, like I remember, what was the one up? It was Custom Compact Performance that was up here. I think
Chris
it was
Conrad.
out towards like Mayfield. Yeah, Conrad.
They did a lot of work on my car. I had a lot of audio work done. They did a massive system in my Monte Carlo. Shouts to Trio Audio.
Who was the one at Kingston for? Wasn't Speedworld?
Cephalo Speedworks.
Speedworks,
Yeah.
that's it. I remember Speedworks back in the day.
They were there. There was like 1 or 2 places out towards like the Stroudsburg way even. So, I mean, there were a few, you know, here and there. New Jersey had a ton of them out too. So it was, you know, it finally started coming in, but there really wasn't anything like eBay turbo kits or anything like that. So you legitimately had to put the work in to make this stuff happen. So if you wanted to go fast, you had to put the work into it. So I don't know, it's like the bug kind of bit me, and it, you know, I mean, when you're a kid too, it's like you're, you know, teenager, you still working and everything else, but you still have expenses. And at that point I was out living on my own too. So, you know, 17, 18 out on my own, doing my thing. And it's like, oh man, I got to pay the rent, but I really want to go fast today. So
It's like, I hit the junkyard today, but I got to pay my electric
eat
bill.
a lot of ramen, and you know,
It's true. That's why tax season was so big when we were younger. You know what I mean? You picked up a few $100 and it was, you know,
you just
kind of
start
straight to the
throwing
car.
it. Exactly. Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. What about you, Sam? What got you started?
My story is not nearly as interesting, but I have memories like as a kid. My dad used to just, you know, he'd be the backyard mechanic. It was never take it to the shop for an oil change or brakes or anything like that. So we were always doing it in the driveway, and I was just interested. When I got older, he was telling me stories that he used to have was it a 79 Trans Am? And he was showing me pictures and telling me all kinds of stories about street racing in West Side and all this stuff. So,
West Scranton.
Yeah, West Scranton.
I bet your dad knew my dad.
Yeah.
sorry, they put baby in the corner. I don't have headphones, so I can't hear you, Jeff.
Wow.
I'll relay.
No, it's okay. But that's just kind of like how it started. And then by the time I was in high school, we all had the unrealistic dreams of all the cars that we'd want to own because I watched the movies backwards, but I watched Too Fast, Too Furious first, and then I saw The Fast and the Furious. So...
Well, what lured you in there? Was it the skyline? Was it... what got your interest maybe in that?
It was actually Suki's S2K.
Okay.
And it wasn't because it was pink.
Are you sure?
Positive.
It'd be okay if that was the reason.
No, and honestly, even that movie in its sense also sparked a graphic design interest as well once I got into college too, which is a different story. But I don't know. I just wanted a cool car. I just wanted, to kind of be in that lifestyle. It just kind of like mesmerized me for a little while. So, I just ended up meeting the right people at the right time. And then I find myself at the wash and meeting this guy. And, it's kind of crazy.
But it was a whole vibe back then.
Yeah.
We don't have to go down that rabbit hole entirely, but the style of cars 20 years ago, and that sounds shocking, is way different than today. You know what I mean? Like, no one's doing body kits today or vinyls or graphics, and some may, but they're our age doing a throwback of remember this.
I don't know. I do think that some of the vinyl designs are coming back.
Oh, I do
though.
think so.
Absolutely.
So
Coming
that
back.
aspect of it is starting to recirculate, which is kind of cool.
Like you see the NEPA shows. We've had these conversations many a times,
yeah.
but the style of cars, like it was wild. You were known in your area just by the car alone. You could talk about I saw a yellow Civic and silver guy on the side of it. You knew who that was, or at least you knew. It was so distinct where today
there was a lot of using your imagination to come up with
Yes.
something. It was like you had to put some thought into it of like, I want this car to be different than everybody else's. I want it to stand out. I want it to, you could do anything you wanted with it back then. You really didn't have any limitations as long as you knew how to do the work or could afford to have the work done or, knew how to do the material for it. I mean, the sky was the limit back then.
That's what I miss today. Like, you pop the hood and you had creativity.
Oh, yeah.
But they opened the doors, between the stereo, the dash, the interior. They popped the trunk. Every car had, again,
was something
very
different.
distinct. Yeah, it was so creative. Where today it's kind of, you do some motor parts or a tune or IET, like we say, intake exhaust tune, and put it on corn. Great mods, but it's kind of like that's where it stops today. Oh, I threw some wheels on it. It's just unfortunate. If performance matters to you and you want your car running right without getting taxed, you need to check out Perez Customs. This is a one-man operation built for real car people, specializing in mechanical work, performance upgrades, and custom modifications that actually make a difference. From maintenance and repairs to performance setups, wraps, detailing, and PPF, Perez Customs focuses on affordable pricing, so custom builds aren't just for high-dollar garages. Follow Perez Customs on Facebook to see their work and follow Carfinity on Instagram for builds, features, and local car culture. Perez Customs. Life is too short to stay stock. They're located in West Scranton.
It was like art back then. Like somebody would pop the hood on their car and you go over to look at it. And it wasn't just because of like, oh man, look at all these power adders they got. Sure, they had some power adders and everything, but everything was like, it might be cleaned up. They might be shaving the engine bay out. They might be, custom paint on a valve cover even. Like they just went all, I've seen things as like, as far as like even doing molds of, inlays on valve covers. Like they would go crazy with anything back then. They really just use their imagination.
Full fiberglass interiors and
Oh, it was
everything.
awesome.
It's stereo enclosures.
I think that we're slowly seeing that come back, and I've been saying that for a few years. I think that we're slowly starting to see that part of the car scene come back, where you're seeing body kits, you're seeing custom stereos and stuff like that, and I think that a good example of that. And maybe this is just stuff that's been around for a while that's been clean. And I know that, Joe, you, Doc, Sam, Jim, this probably sparked nostalgia for us, was that one display at Carlisle.
Oh, yeah.
Recent. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That
awesome.
indoor. I remember, I'm sure you guys remember when I saw that one audio display, I was ready to leave a note and say, how much for it all? Those head units, those are the kind of things. I mean,
APC
as far as now goes, the sound quality is, APC, Super Street, stuff like that. I mean, all those audio things right now compared to what they have are just junk. But back then they were, Jim, how that stuff was like Burr Brown codecs and, Pioneer Premiere and stuff like that. But I mean, some of those cars that people just kept in, mint condition with Lambo doors and like Bomex and Wings West body kits and stuff like that. That stuff that was awesome. And I think
your kits were like peak design back then. They were great.
And I think that you're slowly starting to see that kind of stuff come back. I mean, I don't know. I think that within the next few years you will.
I don't think you're wrong, because I don't want to say like our generation's a driving force, but it kind of is now, to where we're the guys who are older with disposable income to now do it. So if we decide to make that change of investing into the style we grew up on,
I would love to
set that trend where if we're the trendsetters again 20 years later, who's going to follow but the young guys looking up to us of, well, they want a stereo, or they want more carbon fiber interior, or a different headliner, different seats. So I do think
it's not unlike what it used to be when we were younger and we were looking at, say, like the older guys, like the Villa Capri Cruisers and, those guys, like they had the cars that we might have wanted when we were younger. Like when we were growing up, we grew up around those, but they are the ones that had them. They were the ones that were setting the style for them, with the performance or whatever else. Like, same thing now where we're in their shoes and everybody else that's starting out and coming up.
I think that the problem though with some of that stuff coming back, and I see this at car shows all the time, is that people are doing body kits and stuff like that, but the quality of them is just not like it used to be. Like, you used to see people put a body kit on a car and they would put a body kit on the car. Like they would
unpainted, maybe primer.
Yeah.
Which was awesome though. Now it's awesome. In those moments, it was like, why would you do that? And now I miss that.
You're seeing cars now that have like, and this just doesn't make sense to me. Like you'll see a car that has a body kit that maybe has a half painted bumper or a completely terrible wrap job, but has like a $5,000 set of wheels. It doesn't make sense. So I think you're seeing it come back, but the quality isn't the same as it used to be. Like I remember back in the day, and Jim, you mentioned Custom Compact Performance. That was the very first car show that I entered. And I'm sure you were there. It was 2004. And they had a stereo competition, and that was the very first car show trophy that I won with my black Monte Carlo and my 2 Memphis 12s. And, I remember back in the day, there was that kind of stuff. And, once we get to it, I'll segue into the first time I ever met you. So we
could even do that now. Like we could talk about some of the early.
So I guess we can segue into that if you're okay with it. So Jim, So Jim, there was a car show in 2007 that I went to. Okay. I had a 2000 Monte Carlo SS.
Okay. And
I was really big into car audio back then. And it was when I was working at Circuit City and I had all audio stuff. I was really, harassing the road shop, and I had a single Alpine Type R15. And, I'd go to car shows with, the Circuit City crew, some of the Nothing Fancy guys, all that kind of stuff.
NF.
And I remember you were in a car club. I don't remember, tuner transformation.
Transformation tuners. Yeah.
And there were other car clubs up there, and a lot of the cars CCP had done. And I won't mention names, but you know exactly who they were.
I know exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
The orange Tiburon.
Yep.
Oh,
I forgot about that one.
And one of my favorite cars CCP ever did, the purple Eclipse.
Sergio.
Right. Sergio, yeah. And I'm friends with him on Facebook. Like when I do have Facebook, me and him comment back and forth, right? I remember that show in particular. It was at like some shopping center up in Honesdale.
Yeah, that was the C4 crew. Yeah,
C4. Yeah, and that was all them. And I remember like it was a show they hosted, but they were also participants in the show.
Yeah,
and they judged each other, and they won. And they were on the trophies, which was just kind of weird. And I have a trophy. I have an award from the stereo competition on my wall at my house in Scranton. And that's the earliest memory that I have of your silver Evo.
Yeah.
And I remember some other people that you were with, and I won't mention names, but I'm sure you remember your old crew back in the day.
I do.
Mhm.
I still
And
talk
so
to
do-
a lot of them too, actually.
Oh, that's good. And so do I. Like, I talk to all the Nothing Fancy guys. I mean, two of them I'm still really good friends with. I mean, obviously we're going to eventually have Steve on. I talk to Steve all day usually. And, he was there, I believe. And, and a lot of those guys had moved out of state now, but I still stay in touch with them. And that was back in the day when we were working retail. We were working, 20, 30 hours a week, making a little more than minimum wage. And all we did was spend money on our cars.
Sounds
And,
about right, yeah.
I had a W body, my boy Ches had a W body. Another guy had a Caliber, with, 20-inch TIS wheels. So remember,
And that's
remember,
huge for back then. Like 20-inch wheels
Yeah.
was
You
a
were-
thing.
you were
Like
balling.
you had dubs in the day. That was huge.
I saw a meme yesterday. It was referring to one of the best video games ever, Need for Speed Underground.
Oh yeah.
And it was like, this is the only reason it was like, this is the only reason you remember this song. And it was TI 24s, and that's
Yeah.
true. And I remember that song used to bump.
It's like
So-
the
so-
GoldenEye, hit pause on GoldenEye. Like you still remember
Just let
that
the soundtrack play.
100%.
Oh yeah. And I'll revert back to Sam. Sam, I remember I met you in 2008, 2010 or something like that back Garrity's. And then, we eventually moved to the Wash. And then, it seems like back then people would come and go. And, I gotta say, it's amazing how you guys got married. And one thing I want to call out is one of my friends from back in the day that I actually went to grade school with. And I still talk to him. He's a sheriff in Bucks County, Pennsylvania. He met his girlfriend through the Wash because he would come out with me and we'd be hanging out back there. He met his girlfriend at the Wash and they're married now and they have 3 gorgeous children. And I remember I was there when he had his first kid in 2010. I was in his wedding, and it's amazing how people met through the car scene. Not just, we talked in our first, the first time we filmed a couple, 2 weeks ago about how connections were made as far as friends go, but it's even deeper because now from off the top of my head, 2 of my friends got married and started a family and a life together. It's crazy. That's like huge, So,
Yeah, no, the Wash
just-
was really popular, at least for our valley. I mean, that was a big key spot.
and the funny thing is, like, we used to always get kicked out, right? And then they would call the cops on us, and the cops would either kick us out or be like, okay, the owner called, and then they would just leave, or they'd kick us out, and the next night we go right back. And the one interesting thing about the Wash is that we still do wash meets randomly. Like, one of us will text JP or something like that and be like, yo, plan a wash meet. And we'll go back. And even if it's just like 4 or 5 of us, we'll sit back there in the summertime, pop out the camp chairs and just talk about old times. You
Chair
know what I
club
mean?
for men.
Yeah, chair club.
Chair club for men shouts. Yep. So
No, that was,
Yeah,
But
that-
but
Garrity's
it's
was a
still
moment.
better than sitting at home
It
during
is.
the summer, even if it's just like
I mean, that's right.
if it was just us, at the Wash. Like
I mean, for me, going back, meeting Jim early on was the car show you guys did at the Riverfront.
Yeah.
That's where I remember your car club hosted that. And I remember meeting maybe you in person, but like at that point, like MySpace was going on. So now the car clubs had profile pages.
Yep.
So I knew of you in your car, but never met you. But I remember Riverfront was but it's everything we don't do today. Like that was an 8-9 hour car show. And I remember like laying
There
on the
was
turf.
so much planning involved.
Oh
in that, too.
yeah,
It
but that
crazy.
was a really cool car show. I remember you guys hosted, like meeting you there. My first memory with Doc goes back to right when I got the Camaro, 2005, and it was like street racing back down the Market Street days, or the Ave, and I remember meeting you indirectly, but I saw your car a week earlier, 2 weeks earlier in the Weekender when they did the ride of the week.
Yeah.
Because I had the Camaro, and again, I was super competitive. I was hyper competitive with that car. So I remember in the Weekender comes out, and the ride of the week's this Trans Am, and I'm like, wait, there's another one in the area, So I remember reading
I was-
nitrous on it, and I was like, well, it's an LT1, so it's naturally slower. But I was like, man, that'd be a good race. I got to find this guy. And I remember having that edge of like, I got to keep an eye out for this this formula. And then I remember literally the night I raced my one buddy Eddie and became like besties till today, but raced him pulled over and we're chatting. And I remember him in the distance, and I'm like, holy crap, like there's that formula. But my earliest memory of you was like a post race, and maybe you just pulled in because there were two other F bodies.
Well, funny story.
But that was the earliest one.
That white Trans Am that I had, Eddie was actually going to buy that car before I did.
I never knew that.
Yeah, he was going to buy that car, and then he bought the Z.
Correct.
That he had the black Z down there.
I've never.
So
knew
I
that
wound
story.
up with that car, and then I met him down there, and then eventually ran into you.
That's incredible. But
yeah, the early 2000s down there. That was
2005. Like
Yeah.
that was still, gosh,
was still
before
the
this,
beginnings
maybe
of
the
it,
summer at best. I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
But that was my earliest memory. And then Sam through the wash days, no doubt would have been down the wash.
I think the times that probably stick out the most for meeting you is Sonic.
Oh yeah. Sonic, we did that. I believe that. Yep.
Yeah, because I mean, I didn't really start coming around like consistently as a passenger princess, but
Like 2009, I think, right?
end of 2009, I think like I started, but then it was like 2010.
Yeah.
It was that season.
Because I might have seen you at the wash, and me and Jeff had this on a prior discussion. Like the crew I was with at that moment, who I met at a Kmart parking lot of music back in the day, but rekindled some old friendships from my childhood. Where now they were a few years younger, got into the car scene. My buddy had an SRT4. We used to hang out down North-South Road. So that was my hangout where you guys had the wash. But it'd be like, nothing's going on. Like, because we'd sit and wait for people to line up and race, or if they would challenge us.
Yeah, we used to go down there to get a quick run in.
100%.
Quick,
So
then,
if we saw that, it'd been like, well, we're following the cars out, or we knew of Garrity's, we'd pop in and out. So Garrity's wasn't my spot. But again, you check in. Hey, what's going on?
There was always something going
100%.
on there. There was always somebody there.
So
that was
yeah,
the best thing about back in those days was literally there were so many different spots where everybody would just go and hang out at. That if you were like, hey, I'm here at this one place. There's a few people here. Maybe you got a run or two in. You're like, I'm going to go out. I'm going to see who else is out. And you would just hop in your car and you'd cruise.
just go for a lap.
Just go for a lap around and see who was out. Go down to Curry Donuts, see who was hanging out down there. Like midnight.
I remember
Kings used
Curry.
to hang it. Yeah.
Yeah, the Midnight
my
what
God.
Kings they were,
Midnight
whatever.
Kings,
I
yeah.
remember
We
that.
used to hang out there all the time, and
Yeah, we would just be at Curry Donuts and Old Forge. Like,
Yeah.
Me, a couple other guys, Mark Sebastian, the
I
NF
remember that.
guys,
Seabass.
bunch of bikers.
And if they weren't there, remember, what was CVS before CVS and Old Forge? I remember even some of the guys would hang out in that parking lot. There was a park bench or two. So same thing. You did a lap on Main Street even through there.
Yeah, you could always
You'd
find
see
some-
who's out.
Yeah, you just
people
do a lap up, lap down.
I don't think nobody really does that anymore.
No.
It kind of takes away from it.
cruising Main Street kind of.
Yeah, it's different.
It's different. It's a lot different.
It was awesome though. So let's move on to like street scene. Let's go like talk about memories of street scene. So we're past the forum days. We're now kind of a group, most of us in this room. What was just some of your highlights early days on? And I don't want to reminisce too long, but like what was something you really enjoyed if you think back to the early years?
like even like the street racing days, the NEPA Street Racing forums.
But even like past that,
You
like
know,
we,
even past that to, you know, where we did the Sonic meets early on. How many years we do those? Like 3-4 years
I think it was like 2, because then we did Quaker
between
Steak
between
once,
street racing and street scene. It was probably like 3 years, but those were great. Like those were great times, just cruising down 81 with everyone.
Yeah, it's like how often do you get 30 cars together, 40 cars cruising down
30,
for
40, 50,
20 miles.
70, you know.
Oh, it was awesome. Yeah, great memories. You know, what about you, Sam? What was like some early on, again, kind of in heightened where you were already into cars, but now this,
Yeah.
you know.
I mean, obviously, you know, Sonic, you know, back in 2010, 11, 12. Quaker Steak was always a good time. I remember those days. Just seeing
Lube tubes.
Yeah.
even, I mean, I even made it out to a couple of the Tilted Kilts before they fizzled out too.
Yeah, before they messed that up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
overly.
that was-
They really dropped the ball on that.
And we talked about that prior, even if you guys weren't present. Yeah, that was a foot in my mouth where I thought that was going to be so good. And that
Egg on your
manager
face.
just
yeah.
she couldn't hang.
All she had to do was put a little faith, and she didn't want to do it.
A
And
little
it screwed
workers.
them.
You put one bartender on, you put on 2 servers, and again.
Yeah.
I was open with her. How many cars do you think? Yeah, maybe 150. Because Sonic, in Quaker were 200.
They were always packed.
So it was like, we're going to fill your lot. Oh, this is great. And then we walk in, there's 3 people working.
Yeah.
Okay. And we all want something to drink and we all want something to eat. Okay. Good luck.
Yeah, but it was just kind of like the sense of community that I really enjoyed too. Like, it didn't matter where you were coming from. I grew up in the back mountains, so I mean, the people that I knew were not up there, and it was just really cool going up to the Sonic parking lot and just seeing all of it. And it was like, man, like the meats and stuff that they had, minus the illegal stuff.
The drifting.
Except for that one time. Yeah. I was there that
Still
night.
have video footage.
But it was cool because, you had all these cars, you had all these people, and a lot of it was just like the diversity, but like there typically wasn't too much drama, and it was great.
No, we've been very fortunate with that. Even our members, I feel like, and we all could speak for today too. Like, we do try to police the area up, like really keep, park your car, shut it off. And I said that in a previous story. That's it. Like, all your issues stem from keeping the car on. So the sooner you can park somebody and just shut it off, all your issues go away because the stereo's off, the car is off. Yeah. Just hang out.
Get them talking to everybody else.
100%.
Yeah. And I mean, I always came as a guest. I never had a vehicle to bring to these things, but I mean, Nate Shea, somebody that we all know. At least a little bit.
Fender flares.
Stop it, Doc. I was with him at the time because it was early. It was before me and him got together. But he had a Mazda Speed Protege, and
I remember that
everywhere.
Yeah. You don't see many of those around either anymore.
No, they're gone.
Yeah.
The MP3s they had back then of those Mazdas, they're all gone. It's so sad.
they all rotted away.
Yeah, but I was his passenger princess for a few years, and that's kind of how I came around. So.
And then what about earliest for you, Jim? What was like some highlights or kept you in the scene through those years? I guess.
I mean, that's an interesting question because I mean, I saw the full run of everything. I mean, I was there in the early days. I remember hopping around in my Civic in the early 2000s looking for people, and and I remember one time I came across this one guy and he's like, you want an intercooler for that? And I'm like, yeah. What do you got? And I had it was like an '89 Civic Si. And he's like, I got an Evo intercooler I'm selling. I was like, you got an Evo intercooler? And like, this is like 2003, 2004. They just came out.
Yeah, how'd you get your hands on that?
How did you get this thing, right? He's like, I'll give it to you for like, $75. I'm like, no, like, what's wrong with this? And I remember going to this guy's garage someplace in Scranton. And it was like it looked like this old dilapidated barn. And he opens the doors and there's this yellow CRX in there. And it's just like, it's gutted, it's caged, it's got a built Type R motor in it with this huge turbo on it. I'm going, yo, where did this come from? And where has it been hiding?
Yeah,
where have you been? I've never seen this car ever. And it was, I don't even know who the guy's name was. He's a cool dude. I sat there and talked for almost 3 hours that day. About like what he was doing, I'm like, holy crap, man. Like I got this little homemade turbo thing. I got this, 13B off of, or what was it, 14B, I think, off of like an Eclipse that I'm slapping on this little single cam. And this guy's over here like this guy is balling with
he's like 500 wheel horse and that's monstrous back
then.
Monstrous power.
So I remember my earliest days, like even rolling around, I ran into, what was it, Barnick?
Yeah, Joe.
Allison.
Yeah.
I remember rolling into a parking lot and they were there. They had their Eclipses at the time.
I met them through Garrity's back in the day, 100%.
Nick wanted to, I was talking to Nick a little bit. I was like, hey, I just upgraded the cams on my Evo. He's like, oh, I'll buy your old cams off you. So I sold him the old cams for my Evo so he could stick in his Eclipse. And that kind of like led into like, hey, they were hanging out at the Garrity's parking lots and I'd go out and I'd meet up with them. And it just kind of built and built and built. And I basically made the rounds of everybody. I was not mostly tailored to, I always hang out with the street scene group, and and I always spent a lot of time, like back then it was a street racing group,
Sure.
but that was pretty much my main home turf. Like I always spent time with them, but I always went around to see all the different other groups. It was always that like, hey, make contacts, introduce yourself.
Yeah, like find out where they hang out, when do they hang out. Yeah, I'll see you again.
Exactly. And then, as things kind of built up over the years, I know like life happens, and I took a bit of a hiatus. I want to say it was like 2012. And I ended up like stepping back, like late 2011, early 2012.
I don't blame you.
Well, I mean, the biggest thing back then was I had a business that I started. I was trying to go full force on that business, and Mark, and actually I was with Mark for a lot of the stuff here, here at the studio, and for a few years leading even up to the point like we had our kid, our son was born in 2016.
2016.
Yeah.
Did you just forget?
Man, I did. So don't tell him. And then that kind of like reintroduced me back into it, because I'm like, hey, I'm at home with him a lot. So what can I do to keep myself occupied, keep my sanity? Like I had a Mini Cooper at the time, nothing crazy, but it was a Cooper S, and, hey, I got this supercharged, whatever, do some work to it. And then it was like, wait a minute, where's all the rest of the old crew at? Let me get back together with the old crew. Started coming out, meet up at CVS, go for the cruises and stuff. And, tried to hit up some of the other events that people were hosting at the time. And I didn't really like some of what I saw going on. Like some of the other events they get a little wild, a little crazy. I'm like, all right, this is a little out of hand, like I know you guys want to come out and have fun, but there's a limit on what you should be doing and what you are doing.
Yeah, there definitely was a different trend when we stopped hosting meets to then who took over. There was definitely a difference that I think hurt the area for a little bit. But it's funny you bring up Nick. I had a story with Nick. Oh my gosh, 2000, I'll make this real short. 2005 into 6. So the Camaro's bolt-ons, I think I was trapping maybe 110, which is important to the story.
Yeah.
So I'm down Garrity's, and I remember, somebody there was hyping up his car. And it's this Talon, and it wasn't his 2G now. I think it was a 1G, so pop-up headlights.
Okay.
And he was still similar to me, which I didn't know of. The car was much faster than it looked. So I remember this guy's hyping it up, and I remember like chastising the two of them, where I was just like, get this thing out of here, don't waste my time, and not even knowing what I was looking at. You know what I'm saying? Like, didn't even know what I was looking at. But it was just like, at that moment for me, everybody was dying to race the Camaro. You know what I mean? I'd gone through so many of my friends and buddies with this car where I was almost tired of like racing people, where it was just, get this out of here. You're like everybody else. And lo and behold, I remember, I think he went to new media later, and someone sent me something of his time slip. I remember being like a 12.6, like 106 or something. And I was like, wow. So the trap speed wasn't as high, but I left that moment like, man, if I caught him on a dig, like I might have been in trouble.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like third gear and on with the higher trap speed, like I got him. But I remember seeing the 12.6 like, oh goodness, like I don't have drag radials yet. You know what I mean? So I kind of had my foot in my mouth of being a little ignorant. But I remember first, and I think him and I had like bad blood for a few years.
Yeah.
But it later went on where as we chatted and realized how similar we were, it was cool. You know what I mean? But to this day, of all the horsepower we've had, we've still never raced. We've always been close. Like when I got into the 10s and he was beating cars in the 10s, we always had this friendly like, man, someday. And we never got to it. You know, it was always unfortunate, you know, but I love Nick. But early on, I looked at a car the wrong way, and I was just too ignorant and kind of got lucky. I didn't catch a 0 to 100 with him, or even a 0 to 60, because I probably would have lost that 0 to 60, no doubt.
Yeah.
And would have been praying for third and fourth gear to catch up. So, yeah, that's my early Nick story. So
I remember the dyno day with Nick Barnick.
Oh, that was a good day. Yes,
it was. I think I don't remember who exactly was there, but I was there with my G8. Nick was there. Barnick was there. Barnick put down a crazy number,
730 or something back then, which was insane.
And it was when I was Facebook nuts, and Barnick yelled at me. He's like, "Don't put that on Facebook," and I'm like, and there was another gentleman who unfortunately he passed away. But I remember that day. I think the dyno was in Allentown. I don't
Yeah,
think
it was south of us. It wasn't.
It was south of
our-
us.
our area.
But I don't, Joe, I don't remember if you were there. You might have been.
Yeah,
but
I
remember-
didn't go on the dyno that day. I did it locally when they had a mobile one, but that was an awesome day.
But I remember Nick put down a dyno, and he put down like I think he put down like
550, 560,
five-
great
but
numbers.
but it was a great number, but it was also like a clean number. And I got to say, like, you know, there's some cars come and go in Northeast PA, but that car, obviously, it's still around and it still looks.
It's immaculate.
Yeah, it looks exactly the same as it looked, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, I got to say, that is one of the nicest cars in the area. Like, you don't see DSMs like that. You
No,
really
you don't.
don't.
Yeah. And I'm
You
not
know,
particularly a DSM fan, but
Same.
it's a nice car.
And it goes back
I'll
to
give credit where credit is due. It's
yeah.
a nice car.
what again I loved to end with it, like the OEM Plus look. Like that thing was substantially
Yeah.
bigger and faster than it looked. But that thing looks almost stock. Like if you don't know what you're looking at,
Yeah.
heaven help you, because you're in
You're in deep
you're in trouble. Yeah, that thing spools up. It's too late. So we'll talk about even like car shows quick. We'll try to keep moving along. What are some of your favorites, Doc? Like through the years, or even through 25 as an example, what would be
I don't know. Is it
three or five you love?
Is it self-serving to say Driven to Duty as one of them?
That is a great show.
I think our standard is very high, but yeah, if you whatever you think.
not to toot our own horn, but that is probably one of the better shows that the Valley has seen
Sure.
in a long time.
Yeah, and the beauty, I think we all can agree on it, I would hope, is like we had a lot of good tidbits we all took from each of the shows. I think we all looked at some of the highlights of the shows. At least I could speak for me of when I wanted to put this together and you guys were like, let's do it. And we all came together. I think we all had the highlights of the best of shows we've seen. And we were able to put that together, put this show together for the people, because we know what we want as a show.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we know we want to eat. We know we need porta johns. We know we want it to be short. We don't want an 8-hour show anymore.
And just the variety of cars
That's
that we
it.
had at that show.
And having
You
you can roll up with, again, JDM, Euro, exotic, modern muscle, old muscle, and you're welcomed. Where some shows today still don't want some of the newer tuner age stuff. We love it. We love tuners. We all know that, right? Like we all have it.
Absolutely.
I think we're the minority of having some domestic muscle for our group as a
Right.
whole. So, but what else comes to mind? What else in like say 25 or recent years was you love going to every year?
I mean, we'd be remiss to mention Carlisle.
Absolutely.
Again, just the variety of stuff you see at that show that you probably would never see anywhere else, because it's stuff that some of it was never here.
Sure.
Like all the Euro stuff and JDM stuff that they never sold here that shows up at that show.
And it's welcome, right? You know what I mean? Like they
Yes,
put a theme on every year. Their buildings have a theme. So, I mean, truly awesome. And again, we rolled down the last 2 years, 40 some people we've had
40,
registered
50
to our club.
cars.
So pretty awesome to at least have your own crew down there and hang out. Yeah, I love Carlisle. That's no doubt probably number one for me, or number two. Really close. What do you guys think? What gets you excited every year?
So, I mean, obviously, Driven to Duty was a phenomenal show. Especially this last year. I mean, knocked it out of the park. Everybody that was involved in it knocked it out of the park. And I mean, I've done a lot of car shows in my time. Oh man, I hate even putting it this way. I'm probably looking at like 30 years of car shows at this point. Involvement in it, and I remember like from my earliest days, even as a kid, going to over in New Jersey, they used to have, it was like a big wheel or something they called it. It was basically like a drive-in diner. They'd come out on the roller skates and take your orders and stuff. And they used to do old hot rod nights. So, I mean, I used to go over to that when I was a kid.
What was the one that closed a few years ago?
That's the place.
That's it.
That's the one.
I got out there twice. Oh my gosh, I wish I did it 100 times.
Yeah. It was
I can't remember the
amazing.
name. Jeff, you probably never came out with us for that. You were
Which
gone
one?
to Texas. What was the name of it? Oh my gosh.
It changed names a couple of times.
Oh, that diner was
it was
awesome.
right on the corner, basically, of Newton and Sparta.
Yeah, I got out there only 2 times because of Larry
Yeah.
got me out there. Oh, that was awesome.
But that was like my earliest days, and it was something that stuck. I'm like, oh, this is amazing. And then you take what you learn from every single one. You're like, okay, this was good, this was bad, and you apply it as you move forward. Sam and I go every year now to there's a big, since we're Audi fans, Audi and Volkswagen. There's a big one in the bottom of the state, just Audi, Volkswagens, and Porsches. And they do a phenomenal job of the show, and same thing. You see a lot of cars, especially a lot of Volkswagens, a lot of cool Audis and stuff that you don't typically see anywhere else. And to the point where people are driving cars in from Canada, they're shipping them in from the UK, from Germany, South Africa. Like, they go nuts on this event.
Yeah. What was that one Quattro they brought this year or this past year? It was the
Scirocco?
No, not well. They did bring the new Scirocco.
There was a new Scirocco that they brought up from Mexico. We never got it in the United States.
That's incredible.
This thing is amazing, but I wish we could have gotten it. It would have been a huge seller in this market. But
and what about you, Sam? What gets you excited? Like, even now, like, you're thinking of the car show season coming.
Yeah,
What's got
absolutely.
you excited for?
Even just to continue on the low show conversation, that's hands down one of the most awesome shows I've seen in a long time. Just for the diversity again, they brought in so many cool things from overseas and stuff. So, like the new Scirocco from Mexico, that was really cool. But I'm excited for our show. I'm excited for Carlisle. I'm excited to see, everything that pops up, really. This is my first full-fledged car season where my car is going to be up and running. So, I had it out last year a little bit, but I'm hoping that with what we've got in the works for over winter, it'll be good. So I'm just excited for the whole season, really.
Yeah,
got a lot of work coming up on that, but it's going to look good.
That's awesome.
I just have to ask, when are all of you going to decide to come down the cruising with me?
I miss cruising week so much.
Because Jeff's been talking about it for
which one?
Years.
Ocean City.
Either one.
Oh, okay.
Spring is the bigger one.
Fall.
Fall is a good intro to be like, what are you getting into? Because correct me if I'm wrong. I remember that being like 5,000 to 8,000 cars, but spring was probably like 8,000 to 12,000. Maybe it's bigger or less now. I'm not too sure. But
if you count total, not registered and not registered, yeah, probably.
Okay.
That's
I
probably
miss
a
it,
good
though.
number. But yeah, the fall is definitely the quieter one if you want to just see what it's about.
That's a good intro just to get an idea.
Yeah.
But it's so awesome. Oh my gosh. Those nights were like the Av nights on steroids. Like it totally brings you back to just cars at every light, cruising around. But heaven help you if you're going above 40. Like, you can't go down there and screw around.
Yeah.
There's no catching a light with somebody.
Game over.
Absolutely.
There's no catching a light. I promise you.
200 cars just show up at a Royal Farms at 1 a.m.
Oh, it's insane. So you're good. It's just, again,
you know why we're there, but you don't know why we're there.
yeah, so if you go back to the point of like park it, shut it off, like that's Ocean City. You could have a great time, but if you're trying to get anything in that city,
Forget it.
You're not. You've got to leave the city. But I miss Ocean City. That was a great time. That was awesome.
You'll be back.
I will be back. It's going to be awesome. So we'll try to move on before we go into more of Street Scene real quick. I like to do like some like dream car hypotheticals.
You guys, you forgot about me.
Yeah, we did.
Oh,
Yeah, like, hey,
Sorry,
I know I'm
Jeff.
15 miles away.
It's not-
Pass it along.
come back.
Maybe if
come
you
back
move
to us.
back.
Yeah, come
Maybe
back.
come back.
Come back to the room.
So I'm like Jim. I've been doing, except Jim has been doing car shows, since the Nixon administration. But, I've done.
What did he say? I didn't hear.
I've been doing shows, obviously since like 2004. It's definitely changed quite a bit. And I got to say one thing: the car show scene down here sucks. Northeast PA is a lot lot better.
Which I'm shocked to hear. I really am. Being that you have warmer
it's because
weather.
It's because there's usually like there's like 30 shows every day. Each show has, these Corvettes and these like Mustangs that are just like one of one. It's horrible. You don't see anything
Every Corvette
crazy.
is a one of one.
But here's the thing, though.
Yeah.
The meets are wild, especially in March when we have a certain event coming up where if you go above 20 miles an hour, you have tinted windows and you don't have a front plate, you get thrown in the clink. But as far as Northeast PA goes, I got to say my favorite shows have been the ones from years ago. Jim, I'm sure you remember back in the day, Wheels and Heels at Gentlemen's Club 10.
That was fun.
And,
that was the debut of my turboed Camaro, was that show there.
And then Royalties had a car show at the Wyoming County Fairgrounds. And then I was a big fan of, I went with Nothing Fancy one year, and it was a shit show. It was a good time though. I always liked Tuner Evolution and Tuner Wars. That was always in either
Harrisburg. I missed that.
York, Harrisburg, or like outside of, no, it was in York or Harrisburg. And
Harrisburg,
it was
at the farm show complex there.
Yeah.
They had, it was like invite where you had to apply. And if you had a shit box, you weren't getting in. And I went in 2014 with my Corvette, and it was fantastic. I saw lots of local people that had really cool stuff. I met some, current content creators. It was fantastic. And obviously, I'll be completely blunt with you guys right now. My favorite car show, Driven to Duty 2026.
Oh, it's gonna be awesome. We do have a lot of stories.
And I gotta speak to Carlisle. I mean, Carlisle has been the staple. I would say it's my favorite car show, but I've only been there in body for the past few years. So, yeah.
He's present.
Well, that's your own fault.
We see him there. However, you know what show I will end on that. You know what I loved, and it stopped, was when they did at the airport. They had the air show with the cars. I thought that was a phenomenal crossover.
Droptoberfest used to be my absolute favorite.
Huge one.
What airport?
Avoca had it.
Avoca.
Oh, okay.
They did it in, I remember 17 for sure. Maybe 16 and 17. They kind of came back with it.
Somewhere around
And then that was it. I think it was just 2 years. There was all talk of it would keep coming, and it stopped again.
I mean, there was...
Who did that show? Do you remember?
No idea. I don't.
I don't remember.
That
either.
was awesome, though, for a brief moment.
I think
that's
the
old
biggest
Dave
problem
Setman.
with a lot of the shows is the liabilities anymore.
Oh, huge.
Oh, yeah.
It's not like it used to be where... people would show up, they get their car ready, they pull out their chair, they'd sit, they'd hang out, they talk to their friends, they go, you always have, at this point in time, most of the shows that I've seen, it ends up just, it might start with good intentions, but it ends up just de-evolving into a complete mess by the end, and you end up like, especially in the past, at least, I've seen ones where, kids are sitting there revving their engines, doing burnouts, and, people are getting aggravated at. Next thing you know, there's fist fights, and,
I mean, that's the last thing
and then
want.
and then the venue's like
the venue's done with you.
The venue's done. Like, we don't want you back. Yep.
I mean, that's
and
why
not just them, but everybody else after that.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I mean, who wants to be sitting in traffic to where someone's leaving behind you, sliding sideways,
Exactly.
and now you're looking in your mirror like, is that going to hit me or somebody else? So that's the hardest part of even hosting things from our end, is like, we know we have your attention in the parking lot, but when you leave, it's a free for all, and it's very unfortunate because not everybody has the like mind of just like, I'm going to pull out of here. I want to keep my license. I want to keep my car.
Yeah.
It just comes down to that showboat, and it's just unfortunate to have that thinking. But what does that come back to? In my opinion, only social media.
Yeah.
Why? Because we got phones. You're doing something. They can be noticed, and it's just unfortunate that it has to be that way. Like, just drive home. Like, you had a great day. You left with a trophy, maybe. Hopefully, you got something to eat. Like, you had a good day.
hang out with your friends.
Just drive home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but people can't leave well enough alone, though.
I know. It's just unfortunate.
They got to be chasing the cloud. They got to be noticed. I mean, like,
It's just
you just want to be
unfortunate.
seen.
It's that monkey see, monkey do mentality.
It
Yeah,
is.
and unfortunately, it kills a lot of like really good venues that way.
Oh, it does. Because the venues want no part of it.
Yeah.
We've already signed up for, they signed on board to have this meet or car show. And now it's people burning out, acting careless. Like, nobody wants to continue that. So,
Yeah.
And that makes it
especially
harder.
when you look at things like Gatlinburg
oh, yeah.
or H2O. The ending couple years of H2O. Everyone goes down there wanting to be noticed,
And that's what happens.
and it kills that show.
And then it goes right into the spring or fall, really fall, I guess it would be, because
Right.
they go down and they tear the city apart. with acting careless, crashing. They get the cops all riled up because now you have all this reckless behavior. So then when it comes to, I think fall is right behind it.
It's like
It's a week later.
A week or two later. Yeah.
So everybody's riled up. So now they come into the situation looking at all like our generation and older, and we're coming down like we understand the mission of drive, park, hang out, but they're now side-eyeing everybody of what do you got going on? You know what? And it's like, but they rile it up. They have ruined that culture so unfortunately.
Didn't someone get killed at H2O? Like, wasn't there like a murder? I remember
was it
like
Supra, someone got hurt or killed. Not too long ago?
no. I mean like a murder, like a homicide, like not even car related. Like a couple of years ago, there was like a major
I don't know
thing.
that.
There was like I remember there was like a manhunt. I don't remember the details, and I don't want to misspeak like I did with TJ, but there was something that happened at H2O a few years ago where there was like a literal manhunt for somebody.
Oh wow.
It's crazy. I mean, I'll look.
I think somebody
it was,
got hit.
I think that's the actual reason.
I do remember
was.
that. Yeah. Yes, they might have hit them and drove off.
Yeah, I think it was a hit and run.
Yeah. So I mean, like let's do a lighter note. Let's talk about dream cars. So think of being a teenager, and I did this in a prior guest that we had. Dream car, and I'm 18 would have been Camaro F body and maybe a Dodge Viper as an example, or Countach. So you can never touch the Viper, but maybe an F body. So like Doc, if you were in high school, would have been 1 in 1. What was something you might have squeezed by and been able to grab? Then what was a far-fetched dream of yours?
Honestly, I mean, when I was in high school and even now, like the GM, like G body platform always kind of had my eye. And so before I bought the Trans Am, I was actually looking for a Monte Carlo of that like mid 80s vintage, and then the Trans Am kind of showed up in Kingston one day and we pulled the trigger on that. But I've always had in the back of my mind, it's like it's a good platform.
Oh, excellent platform, especially for drag racing.
And even today, with my Malibu, that's just kind of hibernating in the garage,
hanging out.
Same.
Okay. So if you had a G body, what would have been an unrealistic if you were 18? Something you would love to have, but just it never would have happened. What about like taking a mortgage out to get one?
Probably like the Viper.
Okay. What about you, Sam? What? Wild to mild at 18. What do you think?
Wild at 18. 99 Sylvia S15.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I know in real recent, they were able to be imported, but the prices on them are astronomical still to import them.
Then what about something realistic? What would you have, if you could have gotten something?
I already own it.
Oh.
It's my TT.
Okay. Which is awesome to hear. So dream car at one point in your life, and now you get to own it. I mean, how awesome is that?
All
That's
because
incredible.
one of my friend's brothers had one when I was still in school, and he had a coupe. It was a Mark I coupe, and I was like, man, this thing is so cool, and I just loved the way they looked. I loved the interiors. It was super cool. And then it's almost 2 years at this point because it sat in pieces for a little while when we brought it home. But
it was sitting on the side of somebody's house since 2019.
Yeah.
Completely torn apart.
Yeah. But we found it on Facebook, and it was out in Pike County, and he was like, oh, look at this. And I was like, sold. Gimme. Message him. So that's how that happened. So the realistic one I actually already own.
Wow. What about you, Jim?
Ooh. See, I grew up with hot
before
rods.
the wheel.
Yeah. My best friend was Henry Ford. Honestly, even back then, I always got a copy of Hot Rod magazine, and I would sit and I would flip through every 30s Model A Ford that I could find. I love those little roadsters. It's still to this day, like
you're still looking for one.
I literally go and I'm like, ooh, here's a Model A. I think I'm gonna get it. I don't know. What about this one? And honestly, I want to build one. And that's who I am. I always build stuff. Like I wanted a challenge that was like, hey, I can build this from the ground up, start with a frame, put a body on it, modify it how I want it, do the chop, the channel, the whole 9 yards, an old Ford flathead. Like, I've been dying to do one of these for years. And now I'm finally at the point where I'm like, I can afford to do this. If I really want to, if I want to sit down and make it happen, I can make it happen. I
what
did the
we don't have,
foray into the old classic world with the Buick. I had that 54
I remember that.
Buick, and that just, I don't know. That was my, let me see what it's like on the other side of the retirement platform.
Well, I feel like the 32 Ford is like the stereotypical retiree
Absolutely.
car.
Oh, yeah.
That
It
and
is.
pretty much the vets of any vintage.
Yeah.
So that makes sense for you to.
Yeah. I mean, I gave the Buick a shot, and don't get me wrong, that was such a fun car to just drive around in, and it was
It was a
so
different car
impractical.
for
yeah.
But I
for
feel
what
like-
our group was into.
But I
at the
feel like
time.
you were so performance oriented to that point.
Yeah.
I even thought, how's this going to work out? And that's just as a friend standpoint, because you were so performance oriented that was such a step back and just, low
We're
and slow.
thinking like, when is the LS6?
yeah. To me, it
coming?
was like, there's got to be an LS7 coming on this. Like,
I was looking at like 401 nail heads and everything.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, how can I juice this up a little bit and get it a
Yeah.
little bit faster? It had that cool factor and everything for a little while, but then I also realized, like, sitting in a chair in a parking lot with people that are still twice my age, and going,
I'm not there yet.
no.
I get that.
There was actually more drama among those older car groups at that point in time than there was with the younger ones. I went, okay, this is backwards. This is not what I expect. I figured it was going to be calm and friendly and
Yeah.
everything else. And the more you dove into it, the more mess you found under the surface. And I went, yes, I don't know if I'm quite ready for this. So
The hairline says they're mature, but
However,
their actions say otherwise.
wow.
I figured because most of them are retired, they had a lot more time on their hands, and I'm
But,
They got a lot-
that's the dangerous part.
They got a lot more time to stew about.
That's right.
things.
That's the dangerous part. They had a lot more time.
Yeah.
So Jeff, I know your answer, but then for the group, what was again 18 years old, wild to mild? What was a dream? Well, we lost you.
We can't hear you.
Can you hear us?
Sorry, I was on mute.
Sorry.
Just like it happens, I was on work. Like it, that's at work. I'm mute.
Do you want to try that again without having a stroke?
Wow.
Okay. So, mild, F body, red SS Camaro with those split style wheels, with an SLP loudmouth. Wild, it's still the same. Ferrari F40,
Yep,
hands
yep.
down.
Ooh.
Mm.
All
Oh,
right.
man. And then we'll recap to even today's day and age. What would be today? What would be something obtainable that if you were to go out and buy it, Doc? And then what's something that you could pull out a mortgage for, but you don't want to? What's today's goal?
God, I still want the CT5 Blackwing.
Yes, good choice. So that's obtainable, right? That's or is that the wild?
I mean, that's in theory obtainable.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Mortgage your life away.
Mortgage. The
I mean,
life
yeah, they're
away,
120K. They're not.
Yeah,
cheap,
no,
right?
I mean,
get it.
you can pull out of the 401k or whatever.
Just go to a bank. Banks have
make
money.
it happy. Yeah, banks have money.
Banks have money.
That's what Porto Nova says. Banks have money.
They have money. We have good credit now. We have
Yeah.
disposable income. And I mean, for mine is always the C6 Inferno. That's where I'm at. The C601 Inferno.
Mm-hmm.
We could all get into exotics. Who doesn't love the F40, like Jeff said, and others? But what I've seen guys do on those ZR1s, like that's where I would be. Like 900 wheel with corn and some ports and pulleys and all day. But what about you, Jim? What's mild to wild today?
Ooh. Man, I don't even know. You can ask her. I literally go every single day. I want one of this.
Yep.
Oh, I want one of these. I want one of these. I want one of these. I was on I think it was like Auto Trader the one day. I was looking at was it like not quite well, I guess they are classic now, but like 911 twin turbos.
Oh, buddy.
And I'm like, oh.
Yeah, you were looking at those.
It's basically an Audi.
I mean,
Volkswagen.
it-
kind of.
It fits.
It's in the parts bin, right?
Yeah.
Somewhere.
It fits.
Still 6-speed, or are you talking?
Oh no, that was yeah. I mean, this is like the earlier days, like the '90s models. 'cause,
Excellent.
the one shop that I used to work for years ago, the main customer had one of those.
Oh, it's awesome.
And it was phenomenal.
I mean, just the curves. That was a timeless body.
Yeah.
Timeless car and body. Then what about you, Sam, today?
Today,
If you were to splurge today, but then want to splurge, like what would it be?
well, because I'm a mom, you got to have the mom-mobile, but it can't be any mom-mobile. So I would really, really like to get an RS6, if I'm going to be honest.
Excellent choice.
I'm on board with that.
Sold. Okay. So that's like the Wild or
Well, but
what would a Mild be? If you could, again, you can go out, say you had that disposable income of like a dream at the moment. That's
well, yeah. I mean, for me personally, I mean, the RS6 is out of my price range still. So,
what's a little tamer that's you don't have, but you would love to go.
if I could import my Sylvia, that's a done deal.
Awesome.
So, that's me.
I keep throwing her ones that I see. Like, hey, this guy just got one on the import house.
Check this out. And Jeff, what about you?
Kind of like what we do with
What's
Jeff with
today's?
90s GM shit boxes.
So, all right. So, you know what? Mine's going to be really, really crazy because I look at these every single day, and you guys know exactly where I'm going with this. Obtainium. I call these a Squire example W body. I'm talking 50 to 60,000 miles, 1 to 2 owner, clean rockers, Grand Prix GTP. Buick Regal GS, because I would love to have a bolt-on grandma car that smokes coyotes. Last year when I was living in Scranton, there was one I missed. It was a 1998 Lumina LTZ with the 3800, right? It had like 50,000 miles. It was $2,500.
Oh my gosh.
The guy sold it for $3,500.
Wow.
So I'd have to say like a perfect example W body. And the 96 that I had was a perfect example of that, but I just did not need 3 cars in DFW. And then I'd say something that's a little more wild, but it's still obtainable would be a G8. A G8 GXP or even a G8 GT, but
With or without a manual.
well, I could learn because I have a buddy
There
here.
you go.
My buddy
That's
Joe.
the attitude.
My buddy Joe that can teach me how to drive a stick.
Even their market though, like they're almost becoming wild. Like
they are
crazy.
They are.
I can't
they are.
believe the
But
prices.
the problem is though,
anything
is
with that platform and a manual transmission.
not even it wouldn't even have to be a GXP. It could be a GT because I mean, right before I bought my Z06, I found a red one with like 40,000 miles in Maryland for like 19 grand, and I told the sales guy I'm on the next flight out. I had a Southwest flight booked, and I was talking to him the night before. He's like, someone just came in and bought it, and I'm like, bro, I told you I had the flight book, right? And then I ended up buying my Z06, but the crazy thing about the G8 is that they are also, some of them are falling in price and a lot of them are becoming legit shit boxes. And there's a saying, falling price, falling quality. And you're seeing that with G8s, CTSVs, and unfortunately even SSs. But, if you have the right trim SSs, they hold their value, like, mine.
Oh, big time
Manual
they do.
SS, manual SS is like,
Manual ones, they're 10 grand over like the automatics. And that.
I'll tell
It's
you.
crazy.
I'll tell you right now. Jungle green SSs, Alchemy purple SSs, Royal Peacock green SSs. Those that are manuals, some of them with low miles are $60,000-$70,000. I'm not even kidding.
Right.
I know I exaggerated with the the Murcielago last one, but that's what they're selling for.
I mean, I'll back that up with the CTSV. When I bought mine, I was in the market of 6-speed SSs and CTSVs, and they're the same price. That's why I went with the V. Was I got a factory boosted car over the LS3, but they were the same price. So bigger car with the SS. But Jeff's right. I mean, the market was wild.
And the thing too with the G8 GXP, I mean, I'm seeing them in like for a Jeff example. I'm seeing them in the 40s, right?
Oh, I just saw them for 35. I posted out of was it Maryland? I just saw a listing.
Remember that black one you sent me like 2 years ago that was like 30? It was mint, and you're like, buy this, and I'm like, I should have. But the thing with a GXP is that I probably rather a GT, because you buy a GT for significantly less. You do a DOD delete with the cam headers and a ported intake, and you're putting down 400 and like, what did I put down? 435
Something
horsepower
like
with a dog shit tune, you know? So yeah, a W body and a, you know, which is obtainable, and a G8, which is again obtainable. It's just that, you know, it's easy to find these cars, but I'll tell you, you look on cars.com, you look on Facebook Marketplace, junk.
Well, I think you have to have
200,000.
the ability to see where you're going with the build, and we talked about this with TJ. Same reason I never buy a C5 Z06. What you're paying for in that car as a premium, because it already comes with the cam, it comes with different heads. That's how you pick up the extra like 50 horsepower, 60 over a base. I'm going to change that anyway. So like kind of like he's saying, to buy the GT, it's the same for me, would be like buying a C5. Buy the base. I'm going to touch all those components anyway. Or I'm going to pay the premium, pay 10 grand more for a package that I'm still going to go and put a bigger cam in it, change the heads out, or port the heads. Geez, like, and you're 10 grand plus then all the mods. You might as well just buy the base and do it one time.
And one more thing I just want to call out is like, I look, the best place to find these W bodies is on Bring a Trailer. There's a guy out in Phoenix. He always sells 2004 and plus Grand Prix that have less than 50 or 60,000 miles, the good colors. He takes them, he doesn't really restore them. He just cleans them, does all the maintenance, fixes all the common issues, and they sell for like 9 or 10 grand, which is a lot for, you know, a 20-year-old car. And Regal GSs, which is also, you know, just, I love them. I saw one that was a Regal GSE, I think it was. It's like it just has more to it. I think it has just a couple more options. I was actually bidding on it on Bring a Trailer. So yeah, I mean, I was looking at Regal GSs on Bring a Trailer, and just to, you know, even confirm prices. It seems like some of them kind of stabilized, like, you know, 47,000 miles for $7,800, 36,000 miles for $13,000. You know, just, I mean, you're seeing prices all over the place. And granted, these are a while ago, like one was in March, one was in May, and even Grand Prix, like, some of these prices are just insane, like a 2002 GT, which is just that bulletproof, $3,800, $7,100. Like, prices are all over the place for these things, but these cars are absolutely obtainable. And like I was just talking about that guy in Phoenix, here's one he sold in May of last year, or March of last year, 05 GTP, $12,500.
Wow.
And it's that orange color that's almost like sunset orange metallic, with 72,000 miles. But the car is flawless. It looks brand new. So yeah, definitely a GTP. You know, or some kind of W body and a G8 with a cam, with an upgraded cam. And also one more rant back to the W body, reliability. You know, mechanically. I mean, inside, like interior wise, like the window switches are going to break. You know, you're going to get the key stuck in the ignition. But as far as like the engine and transmission, bulletproof. So
don't forget about the VAT system. That was a GM plague. That got me on 2 different Camaros, believe that or not. Put the key in, go to turn it, and it's like security, and it's like excellent.
I never had a problem with any of those.
Ugh.
The key in my Monte Carlo got stuck one night behind Circuit City, and I had to get it towed, and it was like $300 some to get it fixed back in the day. It was just
yikes. All right, so let's talk about 26. So we're talking about cars and stuff. What about like some mods quickly, Doc? What are you thinking? Any of your fleet going to get anything this year? What are you looking at?
The plan is to get the Camaro or the Malibu going. At least one of them.
That's exciting.
You know, it just once I start, then it'll be kind of okay. Let's get. It's just starting the process.
So,
but
what are you doing tomorrow then?
I don't know.
Starting the process?
I don't know. We will soon find out.
I don't know if I want to find out what that process is.
It might start tonight if you play your cards right.
See, I like where we're going. What about you guys? What's up in the? I know Sam, you mentioned some stuff as a whole. What are you guys thinking for the family? And
A lot of it's going to be tied up. This is going to be her year. She let me kind of take the reins and do a lot of stuff on the Audi. The S4 is, I'm pretty happy with where it's at. And I know I was talking maybe going back to my roots actually and throwing some bags on it, we'll see, definitely, looking at maybe some dual pulley action and see where things go. But I got some maintenance items that are up. I got to take care of that. But like this year, I really want to hammer down and focus more, on her car and get that spectacular. I want that thing to look absolutely amazing for her for car show season and everything. So
awesome.
Definitely put the work into that,
Do you want to let the cat out of the bag on a few things or just surprise us in a few months from now?
She's got that smile on, like
So so there's something coming.
she's like, oh, never tell.
The two of them are giddy, so we know something's up.
Something's up.
a lot of work.
Wow. Okay.
For the both of us,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
not going to be just you.
Oh no. I'm going to make her sand.
Yeah, we got some body work to do.
Sand,
Oh.
baby, sand.
I like it.
Some cosmetics, some mechanical. But no, I'm not telling.
Okay.
You'll find out at Carlisle.
Hopefully.
If I could keep that secret, I don't know.
All
I
right,
get really
we'll see.
excited. I get really excited, and then I want to tell everybody. But I'm going to try and actually keep my secret until May.
All right.
Let's
Well,
just
I
say-
look forward to what's coming, I guess. And then, well, we know Sam won't go unnoticed this year. Jeff, what are you thinking out there in Texas? What's coming up for you?
So, the SS is pretty much, I just
Try
paid
again.
my buddy. Yeah, I know.
No
right?
wraps in mind. You keeping the same CTSV wheels or anything like that, or what?
I just paid my boy Israel to do the headliner because, every single problem that an SS could have, that car has had. The headliner is sagging, and I just paid him to fix the headliner. I came across some cash, and I said, you know what? Let's just fix it. So I threw him the cash, and that's it. And my big plans are actually with my BRZ because he has it, and he's fixing it after a unprecedented hailstorm hit my part of town. And fortunately, we were able to, with the insurance, do a carbon fiber hood, carbon fiber trunk. And
That's awesome. Are you going to keep it raw? Are you going to paint it or what?
no, it's staying raw. And I'm also going to wrap the
Just the way we like it.
I'm going to wrap the roof. Right. I don't know if I'm going to wrap the roof. I might do that like fake carbon fiber wrap that looks carbon fiber. And I also want to do a wing that's kind of like the wing I had on my yellow car. But
Okay.
most importantly, and Joe, you make fun of me for this, and I hate you for
We're
this,
gonna
right?
make fun of you for the fake carbon fiber anyway, so
I want to do E85.
I have E85 and everything. I love E85.
And you
What do
you make
mean?
fun of me for this because no,
Well, it's
here's
a
the thing.
daily. Maybe that's why.
It's a daily, but here's the thing. You can run E85 on those cars with the tune, but it's a strict E85 tune. And
But
there's only-
Explorer's that way. It's one or
Yeah,
the other. You're
and-
93. Yeah, there's no flex in
but
it.
they have a tuner. It's delicious tuning. It's like $1,200 and you flash an E85 tune, but you literally have to only run E85. You cannot run 93.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you want the full setup, it's like maybe $1,500. But here's the thing. Again, you make fun of me for this. 240 horsepower in a car like that, dude.
Oh, so that's what you have to say. I don't make fun of
Bro.
the corn. I make fun of the 240 horse that you're ranting.
All I gotta say, man.
Okay.
All I gotta say, dude, is you know what? I talked about this. I might bring that car to Carlisle this year. Right? I might
that
take a
fits
road trip.
in perfect though, right? Like,
Oh, yeah.
like our modern
And you know
muscle
what?
is great. However, that's
And
the car to bring.
And here's the thing. I already applied for the same inside like I did last year with the SS, where I was inside and, the car was, heavily seen. Everyone saw it. And, I did the same for the Subaru. And I told them like, listen, here's what I'm doing. I'm just working with the insurance company, trying to get some money from the diminished value. And if I get that, I'm going to do the wing. I'm going to do the wrap and I'm going to do the corn. Then I'm going to do the 1,500-mile drive. I'm going to bring my girl Ruby with me. And I'm going to stay in Northeast PA for maybe about 5 or 6 weeks, do some shows, have my neighbor come in once every couple of days, take care of Orion and Angel.
Nice.
They're fairly stable. I mean, I have the whole house is automated. So, but that's really it.
So while we're on 26 and we were talking about cars, what about for
Street
scene? Yeah, what comes to mind in a quick nutshell? What are you thinking for this year? What's a goal or two you'd like to see from your end? Whether it's a team-based goal or a Jeff goal for the business.
So obviously, I've always wanted to do a podcast with Street Scene, and I am absolutely thrilled that we made it. But the big thing is I want to do lives. And, obviously lives are tough because you never know what's going to happen. And I really think that we have the resources to do it. And I think that it's something that we can do successfully. I think that if it's just something like, if something happens in the car scene, hey, Jeff and Sam, hop on a live. Hey, Jeff and Doc, hop on a live. Or even Jeff, hop on a live. You know what I mean? Personally, I want to make some kind of YouTube channel. And I've been talking about this for years. And I never had the motivation to do it. And I think now I do. There's a few topics I want to talk about heavily on not even cars. I want to talk about something close to my heart. I want to talk about men's mental health. And Jim, I'm sure you can relate to this next one. I want to talk about working in enterprise IT.
Absolutely.
Because there's, in the creator space, there's lots of home labbers. There's lots of tech people. But I want to talk specifically about like how I got into enterprise IT. What you do at 2:00 in the morning when your phone rings, what you do when a VP is breathing down your neck, that kind of stuff. So I want to expand, the social media beyond NEPA Street Scene. And I feel as though what we're doing now is a gateway to that. So.
Absolutely.
So it's kind of like a blend for Street Scene plus then what you want to work on for yourself.
And in that kind of business space, your brain is going 24/7. It doesn't shut off.
And then but the thing with that is I want to go even further than that. So I'll probably end up starting an LLC. And then, Mark gave a great example. Think of, doing YouTube as a TV channel. I have, essentially, I have WBRE and WYOU. I have, whatever channel I do for the mental health and whatever I have for, working in the wild world of corporate America, So that's just a personal goal. Will I hit it? Maybe. But I can tell you what, we're going to hit it with Street Scene because we're doing it right. We're doing it now and we're collaborating. We have a fantastic list of sponsors. We're going to have a lot of great content, and I'm really enjoying doing this with everyone.
That's awesome. What about you, Jim? What for related to our team and stuff like that? What is a goal you'd like to accomplish, whether for the show or the group? What we got in mind?
I know one of the things that I've been talking to Sam about too is, and to reinforce on what Jeff is saying too about trying to get that presence out there because, he and I both do work in that IT sphere, trying to get our brand out there, to the rest of the world. You have to start with a hub centralized. I want to see us get, the web page up, set up and going, fully functional so that everything can tie back into that kind of like a centralized, and you could say, here's your links to anything that we need, even to the point of like, hey, do we want to revive the old forum days, do something on there. Some people aren't really into social media as much. I mean, I'll be honest, I'm not,
foreshadowing.
Exactly. Yeah. So, it gives different options out there, because we do want to be the hub. We want to be that group that's like, hey, it doesn't matter if you're in imports or if you're into, old muscle cars or whatever else, give everybody a venue to be able to go and see what's going on this week. Maybe not so much to the point of like, hey, let's print up a flyer of every single event in the area and hand it out. But maybe a digital version.
But I was just going to say that the old flyers are great, but I think our digital footprint is huge with the amount of followers we have, the amount of reach we have, which, Jeff and I have seen behind the scenes with the posts we've made.
Absolutely.
And, Sam and Doc became an admin recently. So if you look at what we're able to do with reach, algorithm, our flyer is, like you said, making a post, sharing others' events, and I would hope going into this year to tap on your points, like people do think of us. Because the reach we have is huge. Our meets prove it. Our car show proves it. So we are able to reach a lot of families and enthusiasts out there to come out to our events and stuff like that. So I would hope people would think of us and look to collaborate more. But you're thinking like what? Like maybe like a LinkedIn or a tree or something you're kind of saying?
Everything at that point.
Yeah, we have one of those. So
yeah, Jeff worked on that already.
Jim, I like your idea about the forum.
Absolutely.
I mean, why not? I mean, How long does it take to set up one of those? A minute and a half?
Yeah, not much.
Literally.
Bring
could
back
spin
the
up a
forum days.
Forum days.
You
are
could
fun.
you could literally set up NEPA Street Racing or NEPA Street Scene in about 30 seconds on one of these numerous servers sitting next to me
Absolutely.
on this Raspberry Pi. So
Hey, I still have 2 spare ones sitting in my house too.
I prefer
let's
apple pie, but that's just
we
me.
could talk about. Let's not talk about home lab. We could talk about
That'd be another.
That's a
Sam's
dark
just looking
rabbit
at
hole.
another episode.
She roll her eyes.
Jim.
It's more about the fact that
Hey, my man.
Sam's just.
I'm just hanging out here because I can't hear Jeff. So I'm sorry if it looks like I've got
No.
like RBF going on or something. And I don't understand your laughter right now.
He's
but-
talking about Raspberry Pi.
Oh.
Home lab.
Oh.
Home lab.
Okay. Yeah.
She
So-
knows the
Okay.
struggle of dealing
Yes,
with me on
yes,
that.
yes, I
It's
do.
bad.
So coming from the creative standpoint, were you helping us making shirts, stickers, stuff like that, flyers? But as a
Yeah.
whole, what's a goal for you? You'd love to see the page or the group branch out to? Anything in mind that you're striving?
Well, I'm hoping that we can get like a hub kind of like web page going on, so that way there's a tab for pre-registration for Driven to Duty, or there's a link for a shop or something like that. Maybe we could just drop ship stuff, for some NEPA swag. Get maybe something like that rolling around. If it's doable, I would think that the 2 tech heads in the
Could pull it off.
could pull
Yeah, I
that
mean,
off.
we did that.
Absolutely.
We did that for when we did the charity shirt drive last year in early 2014. It was just a Shopify thing. It's just that
Well, they want money,
I mean,
right? There's fees or stuff like that associated.
But here's the thing. I mean, if we're selling merchandise and if we're selling shirts, and there's a little bit of profit.
Yeah, it balances itself out. Stuff like that, I'm not worried about because it will
Yeah.
balance itself out. The profit
about
would
50
be to
it's
pay
about-
for the fees. You know what I mean?
It's about $50 a month or something like that. Maybe a little more, but
I mean, I like that idea a lot. I really do. Because what do we love, anyways, human beings, is convenience. So to be able to have a tab that shows you several things,
Yeah.
how great versus click here, click there. So
Yeah,
I love
and-
that idea.
And even just to showcase, some of our events, like a great central area just to be able to, put like car show pictures or, the aerials from Bob Reed or like something cool, to say, hey, this is our event, to give a little bit more information in depth. It's, rather than trying to go through the algorithm of Facebook or Instagram.
Someplace where you can actually
yeah.
log in and see the
Because
mission
maybe
statement
not
of, like,
everybody
this is who
has
we are.
Facebook,
Yeah.
true.
or not everybody has an Instagram. I know I don't have a TikTok. So,
That's a really
that.
good idea.
yeah. So,
I pretty much did a Facebook delete already, so
yeah.
Got you.
But aside from that, just really working on the brand, in that aspect, making everything cohesive, making everything more unified with something as simple as a letterhead or, envelopes with our logos on them, like just tapping into the graphic design background just to, on a business standpoint. I'd really like to do that, and
tie it together as a
yeah,
brand.
just tie
I like
everything
that.
together,
Yeah.
aside from just, merch and things and stickers.
No, I like that. What about
So-
you, Doc? What are you thinking for the team here, the business?
Well, to kind of expand on, excuse me, us as a brand, I'd like to see us as a group go to more shows, go to other people's stuff, and give them the exposure.
Absolutely.
Give us that. We're a hub. We're not just throwing our own stuff out there, but everyone else. Pocono Mountain, Villa Capri.
Correct.
The
and-
the Pendle show, Cody's show, like all of that, like make sure that they're getting the exposure,
I agree too.
through the page.
Yeah, there are a lot of others that are out here still doing their events and everything else. I definitely agree with that. That's a fantastic point. Especially since that's our goal, is to try and be a hub. Let's definitely get out there and help support these other groups and these other, other clubs and everything that are putting on their events, and help to basically give that exposure, help them out, raising money for charities. And
Jeff and I talked about it. I know we have through our group text, but that's been the leading charge that I've wanted with bringing us back was, again, promoting the area, rally the valley, as in bring us together. You know what I mean? Whether it's a car club, whether it's just people want to hang out, you know. So I do hope, you know, people watching this or even seeing our page, they do realize, like, we're not here to compete. We do want to collab, you know. So my goal forward, as it's been, is still that driving force of bringing people together, come hang out, be able to park your car and have a, you know, a zero stress environment.
Yeah, absolutely.
But also, again, we're providing, most cases, like Sonic, something to eat at our show, something to eat, entertainment. So it's not so much even cars, it's a way out, but it's also a friendly atmosphere, family friendly environment. So I just hope going forward too, anybody watching this who wants to be a sponsor with the podcast, more importantly, more a sponsor for Driven to Duty, if anybody's watching, like, hit the page up and contact myself, Jeff, any team member here, because I would love to still continue to promote the small business within this area, be able to advertise anything for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bernie Honda being, as an example, a sponsor. They want to advertise a car. You know, if Andrew called me from Toyota and he was, hey, we want to do a cars and coffee here. Can you promote this Land Cruiser? Like, I hope our sponsors would think of us and send us, you know, stuff that we could help them with, because I would still love to continue that help on the business side for businesses.
I would also
for the community. And like, you know,
to add
like
in
you said,
too.
think of like Crown and the Farrells.
Exactly.
Huge allies, great friends. But there's more car clubs popping up. There's 2 or 3 this week that Jeff and I were talking about. So again, I hope they keep us in mind where if they're looking for, hey, we're going to do meets on Friday nights, can you put this out there? And the answer
us
from
the
us is
info,
absolutely.
definitely.
Just keep us in mind that we can help advertise and reach out to the car community and get some
Even-
new folks there for you.
Even to the point of, like, you know, there are new clubs that are popping up. I mean, obviously, you know, I even just taking a look around, I'm like, wow, I didn't even know how some of these clubs existed up until the last couple of years. And, you know, they're coming up and they've got huge member bases and everything else. And going and talking to some of them, you know, you kind of get a feel for what they're trying to do. And they're basically trying to start out like we started out years
Yep.
ago. But to some degree, I think some of them feel like they're a little bit lost. Maybe you don't really know what directions to go in.
Yeah, they're trying to find their vision or what their goal is.
You know, I would like to say, like, I would like to be able to say, let's encourage them. You know, especially the newcomers into this hobby, because this is a fantastic hobby.
Oh, it's excellent.
Yeah, I mean, maybe not so fantastic for your pocketbook and your bank account, but it is really a great hobby, and you meet a lot of great people in it. You know, as long as people are able to kind of like look past their differences, look past their egos, and actually be able to see other people for who they really are, as just other people. You know, everybody has a story, everybody has a background. You know, everybody comes from different places, but in the end, we all put our pants on the same way. So I would love to be able to see all these people that are coming into this, you know, just give them a helping hand, you know,
100%.
point them in directions of, like, hey, we're not really sure what to do for this, even as like a club or as an individual. Like, in our experiences, we have plenty of experience in this room, you know, and virtually in this room.
Oh, yeah.
To say, like, this is what we've
Oh, yeah.
learned over all the years, that we can pass our combined knowledge along to help you guys out. And now, by the way, you looking to do an event, let us know. Give us the information. We'll put it out there.
And I
And
just
you
wanna
have to be
I
able to
wanna
put.
talk-
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I want to talk more about collaboration. I'm working behind the scenes on one, and I just got to say I'm really pushing it. And Joe, I think, I'm not sure if you guys all know about it. I think Joe knows about it. but
Yeah, you
we'll
sent it to
chat.
me.
If it works out, just wait. We'll discuss it more, but just wait. It'll be big, and it.
I think
If it does.
the beauty of our team is just what we're kind of saying too, is one thing that I enjoy, that it's a twofold where all on our team, we all bring something different to the table, you know, and we do have parts of our circles that overlap, which is what unites us, but it's the same even the way we do our cars. Like, my builds are different than Doc's, but there are definitely similarities. Same with Jeff, but the way you build, Pickens build, you build, which is awesome. The fact that, again, all of our builds, if you line them up, are different.
Yeah.
Similarities, but they're all different cars, makes, models. What my goal is different than your goal, which is incredible. So it goes back to your point that you really could have a diverse group
Absolutely.
that does come together, because the end goal is, again, showcasing your car, wanting to make new friends, help the community, because every car show we go to, like I said, the bigger our number is, or a car club's number, you're donating to something. Like when you come to our show, like that $20 entry is being donated. You know what I mean? So the more you collaborate and bring people out, you're donating to a bigger cause than yourself.
Joe, do you want to talk about your donation real quick for those that don't have Facebook this year and
Yeah,
last
so
year?
with Driven to Duty, to recap it, when we came out in 24, I believe we had 30 some sponsors that came in, whether they were a vendor or they just came in to be a sponsor themselves. And we raised, well, we'll say we netted a donation of $12,000, which you guys were there for.
Yeah.
But anybody back home watching this, you know, $6,000 went to the NEPA Armed Forces Day Parade, and then $6,000 went to Fight for Vets. Both are located in Lackawanna County. All of our sponsors too are Lackawanna, Luzerne, and we all know that in this room. But for everybody back home, we're not talking about people from out of state, tri-state. It is our backyard, and we're donating to it. And then fortunately through 25, the show got bigger.
We lost Sam.
Again?
We'll roll through it. We'll because she's still on the other camera there. But as we wrap this up, even for 25, I mean, we still had 13,000 donated this year. Where again, 6,000 went to the parade, and then 7,000 went to Fight for Vets. And we can't.
I can't believe
without,
that.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
And this
the
year
community.
we crept over 40 sponsors. So again, as a goal of mine is to still keep those relations moving forward into this year. That we keep the sponsors we had. We're promoting their pages, and I hope anybody of them watching, you want us to advertise or do anything for you, I hope you would reach out, because we want to keep those ties and help them, because we got to be able to give back to them on top of them giving to us.
Yeah.
Just think of it from this standpoint. You know, in 2024 we donated 12. In 2025 we donated 13. It's $25,000.
In 2 years.
That's insane.
2 years.
That's insane. That is insane.
And the amount of
like,
time, you know, when you go to 24 in a nutshell, we did that as a team. And I believe 7 weeks. That was it. That was a quick idea in August that October October the 6th. That's nothing. And we as a team put that together and gave the community a great show and a great donation. This year, I think we started in June. We didn't get the approval till then. But we're already locked in for October 4th, 26. Still going to be at Toyota Scranton this year. So we're going to advertise very soon, and everybody back home is going to see that. But I mean, Jeff, great point. But I mean, we did this as a team, very minimal time. Very minimal time. And that's something for all of us in the room to be proud of, but also the community to come out and support us.
Yeah, because without them, we wouldn't get this.
We'd have nothing. Without the sponsors, without the car community, 400 cars showing up to your car show, taking time out of their day, whether it could be home with their family or cutting grass, getting ready for the work week. They chose to come out and spend their money with us. So, I mean, that's humbling. It's a beautiful thing. It really is. We're very grateful. I know we are. I know I am. We're all in this room. So
Most definitely.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
but any final thoughts? I mean, 26 sounds great from this room, right? I mean, I'm excited.
Hit it hard.
Anything from you, Jeff? Closing remarks as we wrap this up? I think he's muted.
No, I'm not. Just the collaboration and the effort that everyone's putting in. It's crazy how we're doing all this. It's sometimes very stressful. Like that group message we have, both of them is, and plus the other one is going 24/7 essentially. And, it's very stressful, but I think at the end of the day, it's really worth it because, we show the community what's up. I think we set the benchmark, and, I think Driven to Duty 2026 is just going to be, it's going to be wild.
Yeah, it's going to be over the top. I mean,
I didn't expect this. Like when we started this in 2022 or 2012, it was a forum for shit posting. That's all it was, and to host random pop-up meets, like, whatever that, whatever.
And that one Woodman show way back.
Yeah. And that was great. That was fantastic.
That was kind of the jumping off point.
And just like seeing how it went like up, down, and then like it went up, and just how it's still going up, and it's not stopping, and it won't stop because the team is so dedicated. Like we're doing this with 7 people, or 8 people, including, Ethan, Eric, and Mark, and everyone else that's helping us, like everyone that supports us, like everyone else that's in that group message, like, everyone that our supporters, everyone, even people that don't like help us directly, like just people that have stuck around, and you guys know who,
even
you
that,
know
like
what I'm
think of
talking about.
the meets we did at Montage. The Farrells were a huge part of that. They were coming up, helping out, and they were co-hosts essentially too, but physically took time out of their day, helped with registration. So I mean, Jeff, you're right. It really is a humbling experience of bringing the car community together, but others stepping up to physically help, let alone
Dave
just
Giglio,
be like,
the rest of
hey,
the Farrells team,
yeah, like
phenomenal. Yeah,
it's great to get an attaboy, but it's also even better when someone's physically alongside you and helping out in the process. So
absolutely.
Anybody else at the table real quick? What else we got before we say goodbye to everybody?
I'm just looking forward to see, who we can bring to Carlisle. Like, can we shoot for 60 cars can we get 60 cars for Carlisle? Can we get
great.
more than 60? I think that would be awesome.
We'll touch on that to the people at home. If you're interested in joining us for the May Carlisle Performance and Style, we have a drop down on their website. So if you go on their website, look up clubs, NEPA Street Scene is there. You can select a club. You have to decide if you want to be judged or non-judged. That doesn't affect it. But if you select NEPA Street Scene, you're able to park with us and be part of it. Because of all the recent years of success with bringing cars, our tent is free. So again, contact any of us at this table. Contact the page directly. We can give you guidance. But it's as simple as selecting our club. You'll park with us. And we don't do anything there that ties you to the tent. You want to come and you walk around all day and take your car and go home. Like, there's no group tie-ins that you have to be here at noon. You better check in with us. The check-in is you're parking with us. So there's
another thing too,
stress-free. You could do your own thing.
Another thing too
there.
with doing that, with registering, is that, and we used to do this a long time ago, is that sometimes not even sometimes, if you're going to go to Carlisle, even just to walk around, it's sometimes cheaper to do like non-judged on the show field than it is to like park, get in the show field with two people. You're
paying to park plus pay twice to enter the show. So you're right.
And you're parking in someone's driveway. You're paying them $10-15, and then you're paying, I don't know how much it is to like walk in and walk around. Like, I don't know if
I'm sure it's 15-20 a head. It's got to
I
be, right?
think
So
probably something like that.
But if you pay to park with us, I mean, you can, park with, all your friends. You can park with some cool cars. You can pull out your chair. You can maybe have some drinks with us. You could have a tent, because it's obviously going to rain. Because Carlisle has to
rain at Carlisle.
Carlisle has its own weather system. So, I mean, if you're going to go, I mean, and you want to hang out with us, it's cheaper just to register than to walk around. So I encourage people to do that. And I got a buddy of mine from the Poconos did that last year. I don't know if you guys remember, he had a white Acura Integra Type S, that new one that showed up. He did that with his wife. He came, he walked around with us I don't think he registered with us, but he parked with us, and it was just cheaper to do it that way than to enter. So
the more the merrier. Come hang out, have a good time.
And then what about
we had
you
a
guys?
blast.
Any final?
I'd probably say, like, it doesn't matter how long you've been in the scene. If you've, just moved to the area, you're just getting into cars, you're 18 years old, or you're in your 40s or 50s, it doesn't matter, or older, anywhere in between. It doesn't matter how long, just come out. And you don't have to roll with a club. You don't have to join a club to enjoy the scene. The big thing is just enjoy the culture and the community. So I'm just trying to encourage people to do that. As far as Carlisle goes, it doesn't matter who you roll with. If you roll with anybody at all, you're always welcome.
Absolutely.
That's a great point. What about you? Anything on the tail end here or what?
I'm honestly just looking forward to hanging out with my friends, because, I mean,
Oh, yeah.
I'm old, so
It's so far too. Even to have these moments where we're all
pull the
together.
chairs out, have a cigar.
that's it, man.
Yeah, that's probably the only thing missing now is the cigar. But to be
Yeah.
together in the same room, we get to have a conversation. Like,
Exactly.
these are the moments you look forward to. So this is truly awesome.
Making good memories,
But with that being said, from bottom of my heart, appreciate you guys, all the work you've been putting in. I know I hound the crap out of some of you guys through posting or parking and doing this. I always just want us to be top tier in what we're doing. You know what I mean? So I know I come up maybe sometimes a little demanding, but thank you to everyone here, to Jeff, I'm always hounding Jeff for calling him down in Texas. So I do appreciate all of you guys. And with that said,
Are we going to talk about the next episode?
Stay tuned. There's more to come.
Okay. Yep.
But to everybody still watching, thank you so much for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed the show. If you want to be a sponsor, again, for any future podcast, contact anyone at the table, the page direct. You can still follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. What do we got? Snapchat. What else, Jeff? Any other?
It's on the link tree. I'm trying to do everything. A lot of this really boils down to the lives. All social media platforms.
Yeah, so you could find us there.
I even made a Twitch, which I don't have set up yet. But everything is ready to go. I just have to find the platform that essentially we can stream stream 1, 2, and then boom goes everything. And like I said, it doesn't have to be all of us. It could be me and Sam. It could be me and Cinnabaldi. It could be me and Jim. It could be me myself. Like, I'm okay with doing that because doing this gives me the confidence to be on camera and just BS. And I think that one of the interesting things to do would be, once we go live, we'll see community engagement. We'll see people asking questions, and then we could say, we could respond to them in the NEPA Street Scene way. You know what I mean? So
sure.
Check out the link tree. Keep an eye on it. I'm working on the Snapchat, working on the TikTok. It's just very difficult to manage all these platforms manually. So we're just trying to find the correct platform to do everything at once, and it's kind of hard right now, but stay tuned.
That's all right. So yeah, continue to follow us. Thank you again. Any sponsors that are watching or want to be a sponsor for Driven to Duty, just know that your proceeds will go towards the veteran groups that we're donating to. It'll be October 4th this year at the Toyota in Scranton, same as it was for 25, but we're going to be there again. So if you want to be a sponsor, contact us. But thank you again for the support. Thanks for the time with us. Thanks again to the team here being today. We have a few more guests lined up in the future episodes. So stay tuned, and thank you again for being part of this.